Okay, we are now live. I wanted to thank you guys for coming onto the TeamMADE International team call. It's only once a month, so we make it very special. We do have a very special guest today, one that I'm very, very, very fond of. You could probably see in my smile. But before we started, I wanted to see how your team cup was going. I happen to have Jenny, Jennifer, Leanne, and Sabrina on my team. And we had a team call last night, and we talked about, as silly as this sounds, you guys have probably done this in your younger years, about our alter ego. And so, you know, we told each other our stripper names, and we've decided that this month we're our alter ego. Because Team Cup is such a great way for newer coaches or coaches who are reviving themselves to really kick themselves in the pants and to really just get comfortable with doing what coaches do, right? So the first month that you're going to be inviting people, more people than you're used to, or you're going to put out more posts than you're used to, or you're going to put out posts that maybe make you a little uncomfortable. The first week is going to be excruciatingly painful. It's way out of your comfort zone to do that, right? However, the second week, it's a little less painful. It's still not fun. The third week, you're like, this ain't so bad. And by the fourth week, what happens is it becomes your new normal, right? And that's what is a successful coach. What makes you extremely uncomfortable at the beginning of the month will become your normal. And then that's where you will set your bar every single month from that point on. And that's what will take you to the goals that you set for yourself as a coach. So I would love to know, maybe we could share on the team page, sorry, Linda, what everybody's stripper name is. And I don't know if you know how to do that. I said that like everybody has had that occupation. I didn't mean that. You know, when you put the name of your first pet alongside the name of the first street that you lived on, and that's your stripper name. And mine was Fifi Aniston. So that's my stripper name. I would love to know yours. You can put it in the comments, or we can have fun in the team page. I'd love to see what your name is. Buddy 13th. That's horrible, Amber. It's a horror film. Okay, the second thing I wanted to talk about, which I have to be very discreet about, but there are 5. We've got 5, and I'm not sure because I haven't been able to look if any of the other ones are on here. But 5 of us are actually in a very private, I think I can get away with saying test group, because they're announcing it tomorrow. We're in a test group for a new program that's coming out. I don't know when it's coming out, to be honest with you. It's still in the production phase, but we were asked to be in it. So 5 TeamMADE coaches, I'm really excited. It's me, Joyelle, Amanda Dewey, Trevor Kutrin, and Crystal Monroe. This is her second one. They like her. I was gonna say, I don't know why. Of course I know why. She's very good on social media, but look out for it, because this is the 4th day that we've been in it. It's not been a big deal, but it's going to be extremely effective. And I am just digging the crap out of it so far. So I'm really excited. And it's a little bit different than what we've done in the past. It's very marketable, and it's a little bit different. So I think that you'll be really excited to hear what it is. Okay. So let me introduce our guest. Her name to me is Jackie Bull, but she's now Jackie Woodfin. And she's been a coach 9 years, just like I have. And she's also, you know, as a coach, unlike other businesses, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, but as a coach, your income directly reflects the amount of lives you've changed. I hope you've realized that, because we are dealing with something that is so life-changing. So when you're able to change a lot of lives through health and fitness, you get rewarded for that. So she is also part of the multi-million-dollar club, doing very well for herself. She's been in the fitness industry forever, just like me. And also was a master trainer and an area promotions director for Shalene forever ago. And she probably thinks that I didn't like her in the beginning because I was so enamored by her. You know, today it's hashtag girl crush, but back in the day, I was just really enamored by her because she just was so good at what she did. I mean, beautiful, eloquent. And I think coaching and being an area promotions director for Shalene are very similar, because those two things both require you to build relationships. They require you to be you, and they require you to invest in people. And so that's why most of Shalene's APDs, as they were called, are very successful at this, because she set us up right. And Jackie was crushing being an area promotions director. I was an area promotions director for Chalene really early on. And then I had to take a break because 24-Hour Fitness made me choose between being their manager or being an APD. And being a manager paid a little bit more at the time in Hawaii. So I had to let APD go for a little bit. When I moved back to Texas, I reached out to Christine Dwyer, our super grandma coach, and asked her if I could come back. And she said, yeah. So we had our first APD boot camp of the year for me coming back. And I remember walking to the airport. You guys know I travel a lot. And so there's a special part in the airport, the DFW airport, that I walk by all the time. And it's just a chill reminder of me walking, very introverted Melissa, walking to the airport to go to California to be around all of these amazing women. And there sat Mindy Lawhorn and Jackie in these two chairs. And I was like, I was walking right toward them, and then I went, whoop. And I walked and I sat all by myself in a corner because I was too intimidated to talk to them because they're just larger than life. And it was a few Super Saturdays ago that Jackie spoke here in Dallas. And she not only spoke, but she really spoke to me. I've never, I hope she knows when I messaged her, I've never had somebody talk to me, at a Super Saturday as much as she talked to me. And nobody had a really good recording of it. And I was so bummed. So I finally got the nerve to ask her if she would be on our team call. So she's here on our team call, and I'm super excited. And I know she's going to speak to you guys as well. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Jackie. Thank you so much for being on this call. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. What an honor. And I never knew that about the airport story. So thank you so much for sharing that, because I'm sure every single person on this call cannot even imagine, even as introverted as you may have been or may even still be, that you would have that feeling at all towards anyone, because in my mind, like, you're right up there with just the top of the top. And it's so awesome that you mentioned the whole presenter APD part of the story, because that ties so much into what I'm going to talk with you about tonight. And thank you, every one of you who have taken your time to be on this call tonight to learn and to enjoy being a part of the MADE team. And I'll just jump right in here and just start with telling you just a little bit of background with the whole Chalene story, because it does tie so closely in with what we do as coaches. And, years ago, before I ever even knew who Chalene Johnson was or anything like that, I just came across a little program called Turbo Jam that rocked my world, that I loved doing so much. And I got a lot of results. I lost 33 pounds, but it was so much more than that. It was the confidence that I felt, and just finding a program that resonated with me, that I would get up diligently and do every day. And so I had great results with that. And in doing that, I did the program, I got results, I shared those results, and then I inspired and helped other people do the same thing, and never for any money. I wasn't making a dime off of doing that. I didn't even know that there was even, at that time, there was not even a possibility. The coaching aspect of this was not even around back then. I just loved what I was doing so much and loved to share that with other people. So I was doing that. And back in the day, I'm going to sound like your grandparents here, but back in the day, we didn't have, challenge groups or anything like that. Beachbody had message boards, and it was really just kind of a form of social media, but just right through the Beachbody website, where everybody just kind of chatted and talked amongst themselves about the programs they were doing, what was working for them. And doesn't that sound very familiar to what we have today as challenge groups? We were doing it way back then, but they weren't called challenge groups. It's just what we did. And Beachbody threw out a challenge to everyone through the message boards, and just said, let's have a nationwide house party. And everybody across the nation that is on the message boards, invite all of your friends and family. And we're going to do 10 days of Turbo Jam. Well, hello, that was my jam. No pun intended, but I knew that program, and I loved that program. And they said, for 10 days, invite everybody that you know and rock it out, and then celebrate your success after 10 days and post results. So I just shared not through any social media site. I had MySpace back then. There was no Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, nothing. I just invited person to person. Keep that in mind, people. You have a community around you that you still need to be making personal face-to-face conversations with and contact with, and you have a great market there. So I invited people that I knew. some through email, but mostly through face-to-face. And that's what we did. 10 days of Turbo Jam. And at the end of 10 days, we celebrated the results. And the hope was that people would continue on in their health and fitness journey since they had established some healthy habits over the last 10 days. And I went on about my business, doing exactly what I had always done, doing a program, getting my results, sharing my results, and helping others do the same thing for no money. And never expected that. Never in my wildest dreams expected any kind of compensation for that. It was just my heart was to help people. And about 2 weeks post that time, I received a phone call. And as I answered the phone and said, hello, this voice on the other end sounded very familiar. It said, is this Jackie? And I was like, who is this? This is Chalene Johnson. Now, mind you, I did not know her. I'd never met her. I'd only been working out with this crazy little petite blonde woman that was bossing me around every morning in my living room. And I just about fell out that she was calling to inform me that I had won the house party, that I had the most participants, and that she wanted to fly out to meet the crew. And that's exactly what she did. She flew out to Texas and met all of the people that were local. We worked out and she spent the day with us. And here's why I tell you that, because she was so personable, so kind and generous to everyone. She took time all day long to talk with people and answer questions and be so sincere. And in our one-on-one conversations, I saw something in her and I was just so enamored. And I just, in the back of my mind, thought, she is not normal. In the most loving way. And I would tell her that to her face. And I wanted every bit of that abnormal, whatever she had, I wanted it. I knew there was something different with what she had and what the world tells us today is normal. Because this world today tells us that we are entitled, that we are to pity ourselves, that we wallow in self-pity, that we expect others to do for us and not do for our own selves, and that we don't give. A lot of the world today is so self-consumed, and I just saw something so very different in her, and I wanted that, and I thought, I want to be and have a taste of what she has. And through the course of the conversation that day, she invited me to audition for her presenter camp, and I would have never in 1,000 years had that confidence. I would have never thought, I'm going to reach out to this woman and an audition to be one of her people. I didn't have that confidence in me, but you know what? She saw something in me, and y'all, it was raw. It was refined, but she saw something in me that encouraged me to do that. And I did. I auditioned. I sent in a tape. I think I shared this before, but I sent in this tape that I swear, I'm like, please, Lord, do not let that resurface. It was horrible. It was a horrible tape of me teaching Turbo Kick. But you know what? It was enough, because she knew that there was more to it than just the technique, the form and technique. And I went on to be a presenter for her for 8 years. And the very next year, I became presenter of the year, only because she believed in me. Only because she was kind of that push for me, that catalyst. And that is what we have to be for our challengers, for our coaches, for our customers. We need to see what's in them that they don't even see for themselves, and be that catalyst, to be that push for them, to show them, look, all you have to come with is your raw, unrefined self, and I will help you. I will find the program that is right for you. I will find the spot for you on the team that is right for you. I will help you and encourage you and support you along the way. And that's what Chalene did for me. And that's what kind of set me up into the position to be a coach that I am today, because it's that same thing, noticing people, noticing others, those people that slide past you in the airport, those people that wiggle their way away from you, and just love on them and just encourage them. Don't try to sell them something. Don't try to tell them, hype up this business or what we have to be something that it's really not. Just be loving and draw them in and say, I believe in you. I believe that you can do very well. And so I went on to be presenter for her and loved every minute. It was so much fun. And about 2 years after that was when Beachbody developed the coaching program, or the coaching opportunity. And initially, I'll be honest with you, I was a little put off by that, because all I could think of was, oh my God, why are they starting this pyramid thing? Because honestly, it was just ignorance. I didn't know enough about what this business was to make an educated choice or decision about it. And you need to remember that when you have opposition from people, it is almost 100% of the time ignorance, and ignorance only in the fact that they don't know. They don't know, or they've been burned before by people who treated this business badly, poorly. And so you need to remember that if you have opposition in this, it's just because they're ignorant and they don't know. So anyway, went on, and about a year later, Shalene approached the presenters and said, I think that you should take a look at this, because we've studied it, and we think that it could be a very good thing for our presenters, for you, another facet of what you're doing. And of course I did. I flew out to California just to listen, but I knew before going there that I was going to do it because Shalene said so. And that might sound, very flippant, but here's what happened. Over those 2 years, Shalene built trust. She had 100% of my trust, because what she said, she did. What was right, she never led us astray. There was so much trust and a relationship built that she could have said, step off the bridge and it will be okay on the way down. I promise. And I would have done it because she had that much, I had that much trust in her. She had built that. And that's what we have to remember with our customers and clients. If you are just approaching someone coldly, it takes time for them. But if you will build a relationship with them, if you will take the time, energy, and effort to pour into them and learn about them and establish trust with them, they will follow. Now, I still had to listen. I still had to, know and make sure what was going on. But really, I trusted her so much. And that's where a lot of coaches give up before they've spent that time to build trust with people. You can't expect to just throw something out there to someone and they jump all over it just because you said so, unless you've built that trust and you've built that relationship with them. So after listening, I joined with Beachbody, and that was 9 years ago with Melissa, and or right about that same time. And here's what happened. I'm going to share with you something that I did wrong that hopefully that you won't do. I had been in a position for those years as APD of doing the program, believing in what we did, sharing those programs, and helping other people get the results they wanted. But for whatever reason, when I became a coach and I put that coach hat on, I also put a salesman hat on, and I began to be the salesman. It was like, buy from me, buy from me. And I began contacting everyone I know saying, buy from me, buy from me. And I did not do very well in the beginning at all. And honestly, a lot of us didn't, because we didn't know. We just didn't know how to do this business. We didn't have near the tools and the information that we have today as coaches. I promise you, you may not feel very blessed by this business sometimes, but I'm telling you, we have so many resources that we didn't have back then. But I just did it wrong. I felt like now I need to sell. And that was absolutely the wrong way to approach it. And about the time that I started getting on track, and we had some people coming in to teach us how to do relationship marketing, right? Not sales marketing, but relationship marketing. About that time, I had a personal conflict. I had something happen that just threw me for a whole loop. I went through a divorce. I was a single mom with 4 kids, and it rocked my world. My divorce wasn't ugly. It was amicable, but it was devastating to me. Something that I did not see how I could come out of it. And honestly, I just took this time to wallow in my pity, to wallow in what was going on in my world, which is what the world says is normal, right? The world says, poor you, just take that time and wallow and turn inward in yourself. And there were many days where I just wanted to pull the covers over my head and not get up. And that went on for a little while. My business slipped. I let things go, but I never quit. I never quit this business because I believed in this business. I just didn't believe in me. And let me tell you, if you haven't had something rock your world yet, you will. It's life. We all have things. Yours may not be a divorce, but it will be something else. And I don't say that to be a Debbie Downer. It's just life. Things just happen in this world. And the difference comes when you make that decision to handle it differently. And I'll tell you, there was a clear time where God spoke to me. I am a Christian and I'll reference things like that, but it doesn't even have to be a voice from God or anything like that. But there was a time where he said, you've had enough. You've had enough time of wallowing in yourself. Now get up and get about my business. And it was so eye-opening me because I thought, in the worst of the days where I don't think I'm worth it, where I'm wallowing in this, I'm not. But my kids are worth it. My family's worth it. My parents are worth it. All those people out there that I still have to reach and touch and help grow and do better are worth it. And that's what I'm called to do. And that's what you're called to do, right? We're not called to be in this business to make money. That will happen. We are called in this business to help other people achieve their goals, live healthy, satisfying, fulfilling lives, right? And so there comes a time where someone in your life or some voice needs to say to you, get up, you've had enough time, you need to take that time, but you've had enough time, get up and get about my business. And so that's what I did because my kids are worth it. And sometimes you have to put a different face on your goal and your why. And sometimes you have to take that focus completely off you, which is not what the normal world tells you to do. Take that focus off of you and put it on someone else, and it will get you up out of bed in the morning and get you doing what you're supposed to do. And so I began to come out of it, and I made a commitment at that time that I was going to rock this business the best way that I knew how, that I was going to stay focused and centered on the things that were important in this world and in this life, and I was going to become abnormal. I wasn't going to be normal like what the world says. I wanted to be #abnormal. And so that's what I began to do, and I began to work very diligently that, and I'm going to give you 3 tips that I have to being abnormal, and what that means to me and what has helped me and what I feel like has helped other people along the way. Because number 1, abnormal people think differently than normal people. And just if you want a scripture reference, I'll give you it. It's Romans 12:2. It says, do not copy the ways of this world, but be changed by the renewing of your mind. And you're going to hear me say this, and you're going to be like, yeah, we hear this all the time, but it's personal development. If you've been a coach 1 day or 100 days or 5 years, personal development is one of our vital behaviors. But here's the difference, and I'll hone in on this for you for just a second and tell you the difference, is that if you're not doing personal development in this business, you're lacking in an area that's going to show up. If it's not showing up right now, it will show up sooner or later. And so let's just head it off. Let's just attack it right now and get on it. And you need to list those things in your life. If you said if this blank was better, my life would be changed. And that blank is filled in by different for everyone on this call. It's different. But what you need to do, you may have 1 thing and you may have 100 things. I'm more on the 100 things side. I have a lot of things I need to work on, but I'm aware of them. But you're going to pick two things that you need to work on that you can focus on to get better. If my marriage was better, my life would change, right? But you're not going to just go and research and look for books and podcasts and things like that on marriage, because that's too broad. You have to think what's missing, and it takes some self-reflection, and it takes a little bit of time to dig deep. What is lacking in my marriage? Is it communication? Is it intimacy? What is it? And write those 2 things down, and that's what you're going to begin to research. Communication. If I had better communication in my marriage, my life would be different. My marriage would be different, and my life would be different. And you're going to begin to Google search and ask your friends and research the best podcasts and books and conferences that you can go to increase your communication in your marriage. That's going to help you. And I promise you, when your marriage is better, your business is better. I promise. Take my word for it. And so you've got to work on that. But marriage might not be your thing, but whatever it is that you need improvement on, you're going to hone in on very specific things. If it's money, if my finances were better, my life would be changed. What about your finances? Do you need a savings account? Do you need to know how to invest and where to invest? Do you need to know what tithing means to your business? Do you need to know how to set up your kids' college fund? Be very specific about what it is about your finances and research it and find those very specific things that you need to know and be better at. And then you stay laser focused on that until you see a change. Don't read 30 books one time. Read one book 30 times until you see a change, until other people see a change, because they will. When your marriage gets better, people notice. When your finances get better, people notice. When your mental and physical self gets better, people notice, right? So you're going to hone in and you're going to plug away at those things that you need to be better at until you notice a change and other people notice a change. And you stay on it until you feel that release in your life to move on to the next things that you need to work on to be better. Because when you can focus and get better at certain things, everything becomes better. So we're going to think differently. We're not going to be like the normal world says. We're going to focus and do personal development and get better at it, right? And that doesn't mean have a stack of books on your nightstand so you can check that personal development checkbox off on your win the week, right? It doesn't matter how many books you have on your nightstand if you're not reading them and applying them. So don't just go for all this personal development just to check it off and be like, I got to tell my upline that I did personal development. You got to want it. Your heart has to ache so much to be better in that part of your life that you can't not read and listen to what it is that you need to be better. So that's number one. We think differently as abnormal people. Number two, we act differently. You know, the world today tells us that we have to do it all and be it all, or we're not good wives, moms, sisters, and friends, right? And I lived through a time in my life where I felt like I really did have to do it all myself, all the time, or I wasn't a very good mom and I wasn't a very good wife. I homeschooled my kids for 5 years, and about that time was whenever I became an instructor and a presenter, and I was doing all these things, but I was doing things a lot of times for the acknowledgement of others. And I've learned since then in my personal development that it's a pride issue, that there's something that feels so good, or it did feel so good to hear others say, I just don't know how you do it all, Jackie. You know, and I was like, well, because I am Jackie, right? And there's just this pride thing. And, you know, but as my kids got older and you know, went into public school, and yes, it felt good to walk in as a room mom with all these amazing cupcakes that I stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning making, and all these handcrafted cards and, you know, everything. And the other moms walk in and be like, oh my gosh, how do you do it all? But what they didn't see under the surface was that I was miserable. I'd stayed up all night trying to do these things just perfect and yelling at my kids in the morning. My marriage was falling apart. So you have to begin to, number two, strategically delegate things out and stop doing the things that really don't make a difference in the lives of your family or your business. And start delegating other things out so that you can focus on the most important parts in your life. And I promise you, laundry is not one of them. I promise you don't have to spend a lot of time on there. Find those things, and this is another thing that I can't tell you what you need to delegate out. It's the things in your life that you feel like if someone else could help you with that, it would free you up to be a better wife, mom, sister, and friend. And I'll tell you this, you're going to have some resistance. You're going to have internal and external resistance. You're going to resist it yourself because as moms, and especially if you're a new coach, you're not making much money right now doing this. It's going to be hard, very hard for you to think, I need to spend the money when I'm not making money. But listen, this is a business. And if you are wanting to have a return on your investment, you got to invest. You're going to have to spend a little time. And let me tell you that there are teenagers, high school kids, college kids that would love to make an extra $10 folding your laundry, or cleaning your baseboards, or unloading and loading your dishwasher, or whatever it is that drives you crazy. You know, I have some friends that are like, I love to do laundry, Jackie. It's so therapeutic. And I'm like, how are we friends? How are we even friends? I don't get that at all. But the point is, you find the thing that just, it takes you away from your family and it takes you away from your business. And you can find someone that you could spend a little bit of money. You can find something in your house to sell on eBay. You can find a way to have a little money to pay someone that needs the money and that will free you up to do a job that you don't need to be spending your time doing when you're trying to build a business and run a family, right? So I want to encourage you to find that thing, and your level of delegation will be equal to where you are as a coach, like your rank or your level as a coach. So if you're just starting out, you're not going to hire someone 3 days a week to come clean your house and mow your yard and take care of your kids every day, right? But start small. I remember Shalene telling me, and I had no money starting out, and it was such a struggle, but she was like, Jackie, you need somebody to do your laundry. And I was like, what? I am a mom and a wife, and I will do my own laundry and run a business and be a presenter and teach these classes. I can do it all. But I was struggling and I was sinking, and she was spot on. And I'm telling you tonight, find something that you can delegate. Sit down with your spouse or your significant other. If there's some resistance there, be very sweet to them, have sex with them, and say, give me 6 months. Give me 6 months to pay $20, to pay so-and-so $20 to help me with this. 6 months to make that money, to show you that I can make that money back, that it'll be worth it. Give me 6 months to do that. Talk to them, ask them, and then listen very carefully. Do not abuse that. Do not use that time to catch up on The Bachelor, or to have lunch with your girls because you deserve a lunch with your girls, or to go to the movies, or whatever else it is. You hone in and you spend that time diving into this business and spending uninterrupted time working this business while someone is delegated to do a task that really you don't need to waste your time doing, because your time is better spent honing in on this. Okay, so number 2, we act different as abnormal people. We act different, and we're going to strategically delegate things out. Make a list of those this week. Have that sit down time with yourself and convince yourself and your spouse. Nobody else matters, by the way. Listen, doesn't matter if your in-laws or your friends or anybody else says, you can't afford to do that, and you really should be, you get to stay home with your kids. You should be the one folding their clothes. They don't matter. It's between you and your spouse. Do that. And number 3, as abnormal coaches, we live differently. We live different. I'm going to give you another scripture reference for those of you who care. It's 1 Peter 2:12. And it says, live your life in such a way that people will see your good works. Listen, even if they accuse you of doing wrong. This is huge to me, y'all. If you have not had this happen to you yet, you haven't been a coach in this business long enough, people are going to accuse you of being in a pyramid scheme, of trying to scam people, of taking advantage of people and only wanting their money. You're going to be accused of some things in this business. Remember what I said earlier. It's because they're ignorant. They just don't know yet. But it's our job to live it, to prove to them what we're doing is legit, because what we're doing is legit. But here's what happens. Those people who think that have seen coaches and other, not just coaches, but in other businesses too, where people come in and they're all excited and they tell all of their friends and family, and they try to get everybody into a challenge group. And I'm so excited to help you. I'm so excited to help you change your life. And in 2 months, when things get hard, or life throws you a curveball, or you're not making the money that you think you're supposed to, you bail. And you've left all of those people going, see, told you. Told you it was a scam. Told you she didn't really believe in that. I told you she was just out to get my money. And that's why those are the people that think that. Those are the people. But we are called to live differently, to live in such a way that other people see our what? Good works. But you got to have those good works. And you know how that happens? It's consistency. I've been in this business 9 years. The same people I talked to about this business 9 years ago could call me today, and I'm right here. I'm right here for them. Just like I told them 9 years ago, I want to help you. I want to help you reach your goals. I want to help you change your life. Well, that doesn't mean anything if you quit in 3 months. That doesn't mean anything if you quit in a year. That just leaves people going, wait a minute, I thought you were my coach and you were going to help me change my life. What happened? Something else looked shinier? Something else looked better over there? You have to live this business honorably, not talk about this business honorably. Yes, you need to do that. Not just pretend like it. You have to live this business honorably. If you believe enough in this business, and I believe you do, or you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be on this call. If you believe enough in this business today to try to get people on your team, in your challenge groups, to spend their hard-earned money trusting you, you need to be here a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. I'm so tired of seeing coaches come in and out of this business like it's nothing, that they treat it dishonorably, and it makes it look icky. This business is not icky unless you make it that way. This business is a solid, amazing company with incredible products that do change lives, but not if you leave people hanging and wondering what just happened. I thought she was real. I thought she was the real thing. So I'm begging and pleading with you and admonishing you tonight to live this business honorably. Be part of TeamMADE, where people look at your team and think it's the real deal. It's the real deal. And you'll do that by preferring others. I told my team at Summit, we had a team dinner, and I said, you have to take money out of the equation of this. Your money will come, but you have to stop thinking about it when you're talking to people. And you have to think of that scripture that tells us to prefer others, to put others first. And when you do that, wow, it just happens, right, Melissa? Not without hard work, not without pouring your time, energy, and effort into this business, but it happens if you'll prefer others. And that happens when you live this business honorably. Don't be the person that jumps in and out, or I'm going to work the business. No, I'm not going to work it. Yes, I'm going to work the business. You be there for your people that you try to tell about this. You tell them, you encourage them, and then you be there, whether they're there or not. I have a coach actually who just signed up about 4 weeks ago. She had just signed up, and she messaged me, and I've been friends with her for a while, she knows what I do, but she messaged me and she said, I have been watching you for 4 years. 4 years. And I've thought I need to do this for 4 years, but I've made every excuse I can think of not to do it, and now I'm ready. Please tell me what would have happened if she had messaged me 4 years later and I'd been like, oh, I don't do that anymore. I know I tried to convince you how amazing it was 4 years ago, but no, not really. 2 things would have happened. I would have lost credibility with her, and she would have thought less of this company and not maybe proceeded to pursue her goals. So I just want to encourage you, live this business honorably, be here today, tomorrow, 3 years, 5 years from now, and be the best team in this company under Melissa, and rock it out. Take the broad road down to the narrow road, right? If you want what few people have, you got to do what few people do. You got to get off that broad, narrow, normal road and get on this narrow, abnormal road, and show people that we're legit, you're legit, this team is legit, even if we're abnormal, right? So that's my encouragement to you tonight. 3 things: think different, act different, and live differently. And I promise you, 9 years from now, 2 years from now, you'll be sitting in a different place than you are now. You'll be looking at your life going, how is this even possible? It's because you thought, acted, and lived differently. It'll pay off. I promise you guys. Thank you. Thanks, Melissa, for having me on your call.
Thanks. You guys know why I love her so much. I know you can't, when you're talking, you can't see the thread, but people are so appreciative of your talk, and you're really, really moving them. And the one thing that I've been saying lately, like when we do webinars or we do sneak peeks, is to tell people right off the bat that you have to be prepared to give more than you get, because this business is about giving, and things will come to you in time, but you have to come in. It's different than anything else, especially in the direct sales field, that you have to be prepared to give a lot more, especially in the beginning, than you're going to get back. And us being, 9-year-old coaches and not having Shakeology or challenge packs or much of a variety of anything, it was a lot of giving in the beginning. And if the 2 of us can do it, you guys absolutely can as well, without a shadow of a doubt. So there's, before we get off, I wanted to tell you happy birthday, Jackie.
Oh, thank you.
I had no idea it was your birthday today. You are
it's a pleasure to be on this call on your birthday.
You guys tell her happy birthday. I went on her page real fast, and you know, you have to, if you can just, you know, go onto her Facebook page and look at her 4 beautiful children. She has the most beautiful children ever, but everybody's wishing her happy birthday, and I'm like, oh, she's such a saint. She's on my team call on her birthday. So happy birthday.
I love this business so much. Like it really is just like another part of my, it's a way I can celebrate my birthday is to be with y'all here. So I'm excited.
That's wonderful. And I really appreciate you taking the time. I see that Ashley's on here. Ashley Buchert. Hi, honey. So we have some of Jackie's team on here as well. So it's really great to just mesh. I mean, especially with platinum presenters, we're all just one big happy family. So you can see why when I joined as a coach, you guys hear me say it all the time, I joined for the community because it was girls like Jackie that I knew were joining, and I did not want to leave this community of women that I was just like, they're the coolest women on the planet. It wasn't income for me. It wasn't, I needed to lose weight. It was because I wanted to be surrounded by people like Jackie. And so it's really nice that you guys get to meet her tonight. So I really appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you too so much.
And I hope you have a happy birthday.
Thank you. I mean, 29 is not that bad. I have to tell y'all.
You don't even look
afraid of 29. I'll be 50 next year. 50.
Oh my
crazy.
Gosh.
No.
Body does a body good.
Good night, y'all. Thank you.
You guys have a great night. Thank you, honey. Mwah.